That's good. All right, so you're telling me about gas prices.
Okay, so look, gas is $5 a gallon. You own a company, you fix windows, right?
Right.
You have a 50-mile service radius. Well, at $5 a gallon, you can service the 50 miles in your pricing. But at $10 a gallon, you either reduce the radius or have to charge more because your gas doubled in cost.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying the inflation numbers, I don't think are accurate because a lot of companies have already adjusted for these increasing costs. I mean, something as simple as Starbucks. You go for coffee and they've gone up 75, 80 cents already.
But nobody's complaining about that.
No.
But everybody's complaining about gas. Everybody's complaining about everything else. But it's true. I mean, I see people all the time. Oh, here I am, Starbucks. Once, sometimes even twice a day.
Oh,
you know? But I don't see them complaining that they hiked up the price.
I had a customer who didn't buy a house because they didn't want to give up their Starbucks addiction. So,
really?
Yeah, the fiance dumped the guy, and she ended up buying a house, and he's still a renter. Because
he wouldn't give up his Starbucks addiction.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's a pretty bad addiction. That's pretty. I mean, is that much money he was spending on it?
So this was
that's a lot of money.
This was 10 years ago, and they were spending $500 a month.
Well, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money,
especially if buying a house.
I mean, think about it. You go to Starbucks. You get a latte and a sandwich. That's $12. If you go there twice in a day, and get a drink and a coffee and a meal or 2 drinks, that's $24 a day. You do that 5 days a week, it's $120. It's $480 a month. That's $5,760 a year. $5,760
is a lot of money.
Is a lot of money,
especially if you put it into numbers of if you're making $40,000 a year and you just spent $5,000 on
you just spent over 10% of your
income on wow.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things a lot of people I think don't really think about. They never stop to think about how else am I spending money that's affecting me. They just worry about. I feel like a lot of people are just following the trends, you know. Like if everybody's arguing about gas, everybody's gonna complain about gas.
But it's easy to argue about gas because not everybody drinks Starbucks.
You know what? That's so true. But how many people do drink? I mean, they're drinking something because I always notice that people are just always drinking kind of like they're either drinking at Starbucks or they're buying at Yum Yum Donut. You know what I mean? They're somewhere, but they're spending the money.
But
outside.
If you look at the price of if you look at a $5 cup of coffee, which is what, 20 ounces for a large coffee.
I don't buy Starbucks. I'm one of those, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I don't even know. I'm still stuck on what's a venti and what's a grande. You know what I mean? I still don't know.
There's a great video clip about that where he's like, I want a large. She goes, you mean a venti? No, a large.
I still don't get it. But anyway. People are buying a lot of stuff that's unnecessary. But they don't complain about, like you said, they complain about gas prices, but they won't complain about Starbucks.
That's like the tenant who says, I can't pay the rent, but they've got all 972 cable channels.
Right? 100%. It was funny one time, the wife and I were on the metro and we're taking the train into downtown LA. And as we go by the hazard projects, you know, it goes right along it. I looked over, and now these aren't projects, so that means that they're Section 8, low income, right? And we're driving by, and I looked over, and I look at the parking, you know, the tenant parking. Dude, they got Escalades.
Right.
They got the SUVs.
Right.
And then I look, and they all got DirecTV antennas on them. And I'm like, wait, I think they're low income. They're not supposed to be able to afford these things. But
priorities.
Priorities, exactly, 100%. I think that's key.
But let's be honest though. Getting up in the morning early enough to make a pot of coffee or a couple cups of coffee and breakfast sometimes doesn't happen. So when you're paying for convenience, okay, I get it. I mean, you go to McDonald's and you get breakfast, it's $10, $12. You go to Starbucks, it's
We talking about it's like $17 now for a
Is it really?
combo. If
Really?
you buy one of the combos, haven't gone to McDonald's in a long time, but let's say when we drive through sometimes, I'll look over at the pricing and like the combos are like $12.99.
really.
You know what I mean? And you know they're gonna get you a tax on top of that.
course.
So you're gonna come up to close
And they're going to
to
ask you if you want to supersize it.
and everybody does because everybody wants large, nobody wants because we all think that we're getting more buck for our money, right?
Overseas, when you go to McDonald's, they charge you per ketchup packet. At least they did last time I was there.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. They only had, I think it was either Germany or in France. I can't remember where it was, but you know, here we're like, oh, I want ketchup. And they grab a handful, they throw it on your tray, and you use one, and you throw away the other,
Right.
you know,
Other 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over there, you say, I want ketchup. They go, how many? I don't know, 3, 4. Okay, that's
30 cents more.
whatever. Yeah. And then there's no supersizing. It's all one size. And their largest drink is our small.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I've noticed in Europe, it's always here in America, our biggest portion on our plate is going to be our meat. You know, and then the small, everything else. And sure, you heard it. And in Europe, everything's backwards. You know, the biggest portion is your vegetables.
As it's supposed to be.
Right? Yeah. Well, you know, my wife always says, why is it that I can go to a fast food and pick up a burger, fries, and a soft drink for $12, and I go to these salad places, and the salads are $12 to $14.
Right.
So of course, most people are going to go, a salad for that much? Are you kidding me? I'd rather get a burger and fries, which is going to be more filling.
But it's not always that case.
No, it's not. You know?
When you look at, like, if you've ever been to Europe, you know, here we go for Italian food, and it's pizza and it's pasta.
Right.
You go to Italy and they have pasta all the time. But everybody's in great or the majority of people are in great shape.
But then again, there's a lot of walking over there.
Yeah, but the portions are smaller, the food is
Right.
fresh.
Right.
You know.
Preservatives.
Yeah.
That's our biggest problem. You know, I went to Central America in March.
So did you?
And yeah, we were over there, right? And I was just like, man, we're here, we're vacationing,
You let your
we're driving. I let my hair
all
out.
two of them.
I pardoned both, you know, one each way. You know what I mean? And so I'm just doing all this stuff. And I'm thinking, man, I'm here for 10 days. And and about day 3, I think I was in where I was like, man, I am eating like a real pig. And I'm drinking so much. I'm going to gain massive amounts of weight, right?
But it's never as bad as you think.
It wasn't. I got back and I had gone up like 1.5 pounds. And I was like, man, and I really started thinking, even though we're always talking about these things, and I'm telling her, man, I go, that's crazy. I go, that's all I want. She goes, you know, it's going to catch up. You know, give it a couple days, it'll catch up. A few days later, nothing. But I did start eating normal, right? And right away I noticed, I'm up 1 pound. One day after, you know, like we got back and I still held on to my slowing down because I felt like I had ate too much. So I slowed it down. But then I went and I had, I forgot what we ordered. So, we ordered a pizza with one of my friends. And I had like 3 slices or maybe 4. I'm a pig when it comes to pizza.
Yeah.
And I had I think it was like 4 slices. And I weighed myself the next day, I'm up 1 pound. I weighed myself the next day, I'm still up that pound. And I still feel it.
Right.
So my joke now is that in America, you know that expiration date on everything that we drink? That's how long it's going to stay in your system. That's my reasoning. Expires in your system then. So you eat it now, it's going to be in there.
It's going to be in there, yeah.
Because the preservatives, man, we're so bad at why? Because we want everything we want to buy big, right? Like and both, you know, one each way. You know what I mean? And so I'm just doing all this stuff.